Working together, that's the only way we're going to get this done, and it is getting done. I was just thinking as I was sitting listening to Ashley talk about tsunamis. If any of you know how a tsunami works, of course it's a giant wave. But it's always started by an earthquake, a sudden earthquake, something that shakes the earth that you can't not see, you can't not notice an earthquake. And that's already happened with Idle No More in my mind. In my opinion, we had the rallies, we have the world's attention. It was so sudden. It was only weeks ago, really, when we think about it, that Idle No More started. But now people are hoping, our detractors are hoping that it's died. It's not. Obviously it isn't. And that's where that tsunami starts. It's always under the surface. You don't know what's going on until that giant wave hits land. And that water, it's so representative of what we're talking about, of why we're here, of what we're fighting for. That cleansing water that's going to take over the whole world. I have so much faith that what we're doing today is going to create that tsunami, which is going to change the world for the better. So again, thank you, Ashley, for your words and your wisdom. And moving on, we are honored today to have one of the founders of the movement here. I was going to say one of the leaders, but leaders are looking for followers. Our politicians are looking for followers. Real leaders create other leaders. And when I think of that true meaning of leadership, I think of the 4 women who founded the movement. It's one thing to have an idea. All of us have ideas, but leaders get those ideas into something tangible, which is why we're all here today. So we have one of those leaders with us. We have one of those founders, and I am honored to call her my cousin, Sylvia McAdam. You come share some words with us.
Short, so I gotta move this around. Okay. Now, I don't know more. I'll talk about that a little bit and I want to thank all of you for coming here. Also to the webcast listeners, hello there. I know there's a bunch of people listening. That this is being webcasted live, by the way, so hello everybody. I know Carolyn's out there listening to this, and I thank her for logging on. So for all of you here, I Don't Know More is about a grassroots movement. It began because 4 of us women, and one of them is a white woman, 4 of us knew and understood that we had a human right to clean water. Our children deserve to swim in clean water, to drink clean water. And what Bill C-45 has done has put that water at risk. And to me, in my mind, that's not acceptable. It's not acceptable. So what we did is, we don't know anything about rallying. I'm not an activist. I'm happy to stay at home with my kids and harass them and read books. That's me. But when I looked at Bill C-45, it was a massive document, like Angus said. It was so huge. I had to go, and I have a law degree. I had to go get my Black's Law Dictionary to try and understand it. That's how huge it was. So I started talking to Nina and Jessica and Sheila. We all started, and we said, how are we going to reach people? How are we going to get them motivated to try and talk about this? And we started with people like yourselves in a teach-in like this. We started like that. And we still continue to talk. Nobody is paying us to do this. We're doing this all on our own time. I need you to understand that, because that's important. When something means a lot to you, you will do it without getting paid. And I come here on my own time, and because I think it's really important, and my heart is in this movement. I just came from I call it the land, but it's my dad's traditional hunting grounds. I just came from there. And since I Don't Know More began, I kind of stepped away from it in the fall, and I really focused on I Don't Know More because I thought the land was okay. The snow is there, and the machines will stop, right? That's what I thought. When I went back yesterday, there's this huge pit there that was not there before. And it was like that, you know that scene in Avatar where they drive in and all of a sudden these huge machines? It was kind of like that. I had the mic on. We were doing a documentary on land, and I accidentally started swearing. I was like, what the? Well, you figure it out. And then and it's just like a scene out of a movie, right? There's these clump of trees, and I'm telling them, I'm pulling out of all the violins, right? I'm like, this is the beautiful land, and this is where the water is. And we get past these clump of trees, and all of a sudden, we come around that corner, and there's these huge machines there. Like, they're not like little machines, they're like huge. And they dug a pit, and they were like extracting, I don't know, sand or material anyway. And I had to slow down because it wasn't there. It wasn't there when I left in the fall. I was just shocked that they could move so quickly in such a short time. So I didn't have an answer to why they're there. So I went back there today and I went and asked them questions, who they were and how they got there. So I have a few answers now. So for the next few days I'm going to try and find out who gave them permission, because they need permission to go out into the land and consent. That's important. If there's activities going on in your lands, someone consented. That's important for all of you to know. Someone consented. So that's what I'm looking at right now. I went there to go look at this freshwater stream, and I invite every one of you. I invite every one of you to come and contact me, and I'll take you on a tour of the land. And there's this one place that you can go to that you can drink the water. You can drink the water. That's unheard of. That's unheard of. You can go to this freshwater stream and you can go and drink the water. And I went and spoke to the environmental people, and I asked them if they did any tests on that water, and they said they did. That water is perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with it. You can drink from it. That water is so unique. It's so good that the medicine people, the people who take from the land, like the medicines, there are certain medicines that you can't use tap water for. So they go there and they get that water and they make that medicine. Can you imagine that one day that we are unable to go back to the land, to utilize it, to go canoeing, to go and enjoy the trees, to go and enjoy the swimming? We're getting very close to that. If the Conservative government has their way, we will have to ask permission to go to those waters to swim. That's what it's getting to, and I'm not exaggerating. You can research the document behind that. What Bill C-45 has done is, when the corporations go in to extract and utilize that water, they will be issued permits, and they will have priority over that water, not you and I. It will be those corporations. There's other bills that are going through right now, and we're mobilizing and we're following them, and we're constantly in communication with a couple of the senators. And these bills are set out to extinguish our treaty terms and promises. You make no mistake of that. Oh, sorry, I don't mean to point. The elders say, "Kaya toihi," don't point at people. But make no mistake of that. The Conservative government has an agenda to extinguish our treaty terms and promises. I guarantee you that. And I'm not saying that to scare you. You go in there and do your research. Right now, they're calling something called consultations through Canada. And I went to that one meeting, and at first in the morning, it was okay. They let us in there. And then all of a sudden, when I went back in the afternoon, they told us, you can't come in. And yet they're talking about our treaty term and promise and our inherent right to education. They were talking about that. And they purposely locked the doors on us in the afternoon. And the grassroots people were asking, why? Why can't we go in? And we were told, because for safety reasons. We had drums, like, how dangerous is that? And there's a young man at the door holding a drum, and he was being manhandled. He would be like, you should see that, like, huge security guard. He was just, like, towering over us little Cree people. And, well, I don't know if the other ones are Cree. They weren't that small. But to me, that guy was pretty big, you know. From my perspective, he was a pretty tall guy. And he even grabbed that one Native woman by her head and just pushed her. You know, that's stuff that you don't see in the media, but I was there and I seen it. They were really bad. It was really bad. But finally we were allowed in there. But we were not even allowed in the meeting room.